But what we're going to be talking about now is some bitterly cold temperatures. That said, and this is really important to get across here, folks, there is a link between fires either starting or growing just before a snowstorm. So let's kind of go back in history a little bit here. The East Troublesome Fire, you might remember it sparked on October the 14th of 2020, but it was about a week later, right before a snowstorm, that the fire actually really took off in intensity. Now, of course, we're coming up on the one-year anniversary of the Marshall Fire, and that sparking on December the 30th of last year, of course. And you might remember that on New Year's Eve, we picked up about 5.5 inches worth of snowfall the very next day. And then, of course, yesterday, we had the same coincidence here where a couple days before what appears to be a fairly substantial snow for us tomorrow night, we had the Sunshine Wildland Fire start on up. So is there an actual correlation, or is this just kind of a coincidence? I would say that there is a correlation because there's often strong winds just before a cold front, and they're often a drying kind of wind. And also, I think there's a social science component to this as well. We tend to focus on the cold and the snow as opposed to the maybe fire threat that's in hand as well. So here's the overall pattern. This is what we're actually looking at right now. We've got strong westerly winds out ahead of that very cold, dense air mass. And usually this time of year, those winds tend to be stronger than they tend to be during the winter, than they tend to be during the summertime. So what we're talking about as well, these downslope winds, these tend to be drying and warming. So long story short, we often before a snowstorm tend to have conditions that may be a bit more favorable for fires starting. And again, I think that there's a bit of a social science component to all this as well, Tom and Jen.